I know you're probably all hungry, but let's continue. Okay. We talked about libraries, we talked about typography, we talked about content strategy. So everything you guys have learned today and heard, we're gonna take all that and we're gonna take a journey about IA and how to engage this in your life. So again, my name is Terri RodriguezHong. I'm, again, from San Jose, California. I've been a tutor with Career Foundry for almost 3 years, and I'm going to tell you a story how the way I got here on this spot, and then also I'm going to share with you 3 other stories. I have met a lot of interesting people through different walks of life through social media. And this actually happened last summer in 2018. Someone actually reached out to me through LinkedIn. So I gave her my number, and we actually had a free time to chat. And actually, I was driving home from work, and I was so engrossed with her story that I took the wrong highway. I was heading to Oakland instead of to San Jose, and she kept talking, and I'm like, sorry, I have to stop. I'm lost. I got on the wrong freeway. So like she was helping me try to get on the navigation. So again, wherever your life takes you, it's okay to make U-turns. So she asked me about boot camps, and there's tons of boot camps. Career Foundry, there's Block, there's Springboard. So I gave her my opinion, and I told her, check out which one's gonna be good for her. So she ended up going through Career Foundry. So off and on, I heard from her, off and on, just throughout the years. But on November 2019, I was actually talking to somebody who reached out to me. They were in the mid-40s, early 50s. She was a mom. She has done her family business for about 15 years, and she was scared. She wanted to make a career change, and she was so frightened because she was older, and I told her that was crap. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you want to learn something, you will learn it. So, as I said, it was never too late. And after talking to her, I made this post. And to my surprise, it went, almost 16,000. That kind of blew my mind because, you know, you post, you don't expect anything to like blow up. So this is how I connected with this person again through last summer 2018. And throughout the post, somebody actually wrote this down. I'm just gonna let you guys read it. I don't need to read it. But it gave me a hope that anybody that is trying to break in our industry, either librarians or content strategy or whatever it is, we really need to support each other. And I have been fortunate, after that post, I have been connecting between 40 to 90, 140, I think it's like 220 now. I'm still getting say, hey, Terri, da-da-da this, da-da-da. And I have been applying, trying to get back to them all. And I have talked to different people from India, Canada, Australia, here in the States. There's so much out there that people are willing to learn, and they want to learn. And our industry is so big that it's a great place to be. So, remember this post again? Well, the person is actually here today. And when that post happened in November 2019, I started talking with her back and forth, and actually it was Catherine back there. That was Catherine. So I just want to prove a point here. The connections that you make, they are really important, okay? I know you guys are sitting there, oh, I don't know what to say, I don't want to say, bull crap. Get out of your shell and talk to the person behind you. Like Erica, Erica can talk to Dee Dee. Ian can talk to Brianna. So again, that's one way you can take all that information, you structure your life, and you take one step at a time. Because you're just going to sit in your little bubble. What's going to happen? Nothing. Okay, wait a minute, I did something here. It's telling me to print. So, again, we continue to chat on the phone, and Catherine's all, hey, do you want to speak up as an animal? Sure. So that's how I got here, through my journey. So between how I got here and one of my tasks, it kind of made me think a lot more about U-turns, right? Anytime you make a mistake, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Who cares? Make a U-turn. Come back to that situation. Again, get the information you need. If you get this certain type of information and you go and it's not quite what you want, make a U-turn and gather more information. So I wanted to know more about other people, and I've heard their stories all throughout. And we're going to be going into a question about U-turns. And basically, I asked my husband this one question. How do you structure your life? And he just kind of stared at me like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, no, how do you structure your life? Well, this was his answer. No, I don't know. We do not get any kind of guidance. And I started to think like, well, some of us, maybe we didn't get any guidance in our careers, life, jobs, families, friends. And from all these stories, I've been talking to people through LinkedIn or through Twitter. These are the most that came to mind, like mindset, giving feedback, getting too much information. And the biggest one is fear. So here's the question. How can we use information architect to structure our life? And this is the definition that Natalie had on her slide as well. Again, it's about the parts. Okay, I'm going to ask for a volunteer. If not, I'm going to call on somebody. Come on. Thank you.
What have I done?
A big smile. What's your name?
I know the timer.
Alex.
Alex. Okay, Alex. Can you tell me a time where you really, really, really wanted to do something, but do you have that?
I'm trying to narrow it down.
Just pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you talked yourself out of it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can you share what that was with us?
Yeah, sure. Actually doing a talk for a technology conference.
Well, you're already halfway there. You're already on the stage. You already are talking to the microphone, so now you can do it.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for sharing. So again, if you have something that you want to do, and you're already saying, oh no, I can't do it, you're only defeating yourself. So, question here, how do we arrange the parts to be something that are understandable? So, I'm going to be going into 3 stories, Tom, Holly, and Terrance. And we're going to start with Tom. Tom was actually living in Germany, and he was bummed because he's lost his job. And he had to move back with his parents back in Ireland. And he was kind of bummed, and we were just kind of, chit-chatting on the phone through Skype, thank God for Skype. And he goes, I don't want to move back. I'm a grown man, and this and that. And it's like, well, you know what? It's not ideal, but what could happen is I was telling him a story about one of my good friends that she lost her parents to cancer. So I bet you anything, she will have any amount of money to be in Tom's shoes. So, as we kept on talking, Tom actually changed his point of view, and I told him, treasure your parents, because soon enough, it's only temporary. So, again, having compassion for working in industry and with all these tools, if a door closes, another one will open. No matter what's going on, another one will open. So at this point, he did see it from another view. He can only take the chance or take his change and actually decide how to arrange his part in his life in the order how he wanted to make it happen, to make it understandable for him. So again, that's half the battle. That basically, we have to have the things that we not be okay with, but again, if it's the wrong time or the wrong area, again, you can always adjust and make those U-turns. And sometimes we focus on what we want, that we really don't look at the story and look at the parts. So, you might be wondering whatever happened to Tom. Tom did move back with his parents, and once he changed his view of his whole environment, guess what? He started to get interviews. He started to get freelance work, and actually I just heard last week he did get a full-time job. So, that is the key ingredient to actually structure your life, is how you look at it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Holly. Holly has looked after a lot of people, doing a lot of tasks. She's the invisible ghost in the background, making things set up. So I'm not talking about the coworkers that you interact every day, like on your team, right? I'm talking about the coworkers that they're admins, security guards, staff, and operations. So Holly was a fellow career changer from admin going to UX. And she actually reached out to me on a social channel to go over her portfolio. So I know a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of designers or whatever, but what I like to do, I like to go. I don't look at their portfolio themselves, I go to the About Me, always. Because I want to know what type of person I'm going to be working with. Because I'm going to be with them 8 hours a day. So as I continue to read Holly's information, underneath everything, she was an ex-admin. And she had that little blurb like buried in her bio all the way down there. And I just like, oh my God, what is she doing? Why is she hiding that skill way down there? If you know anything about admins, they are the front fort of getting these events done, always having a smile on their face, and they know how to have compassion for any user they will encounter. So that didn't surprise me when I gave her my feedback, and she was kind of surprised, like, oh, you think admin's good? I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, what type of skill you can bring to a team? Just for example, if you had to plan a big all-hands meeting, would you know where to start at your company? I know I wouldn't. If you had a Holly on your team, she can bring those extra skills to teach everybody else. So, of course, she's been doing this for many years, and she's definitely a pro at it, but also, too, it's good to have that person on your team. So, what Holly can bring to the table is just you never know what your teammates or somebody you might meet can bring value to you, and you can bring value to them. So, Holly realized that she had a lot more what to offer to the team. And her walls started to break down as she felt confident enough, like, you know what, I own this, and she did. And then after that, she redid her portfolio and stuff like that, and she's still doing interviews. So that's half the battle, is basically what you don't see that you need to change. But that's what information architect is kind of about. So if we try to, but if we try to actually do that in our lives, and sometimes, we have pieces that are missing, but the best part that we discover is those missing pieces, and then you yourself, who is in charge, that can make sense of it. And we're going to talk about Terrance, and this is going to be the last of the story. As I mentioned, his name is Terrance. He wanted to do UX, and we were talking back and forth, and his job was doing customer service. And I'm sure everybody has done customer service. It's not the glamorous job. You get the butt end, rude people, and it's a hard job. It's really hard. So he kept on, doing the coursework and stuff, really, really excited, but he was falling a little bit behind. But he kept pushing through, and again, we talked on the phone just for a little bit, and he had some ups and downs, but finally, I got an email from Terrance saying he had to support his family. And I understand that, because when your family needs your help, well, you help because they're family. But he was so discouraged and so bummed that he couldn't do the program. And basically I said, no, you can still do the program, you're just on pause. There's nothing wrong with being on pause, right? So, as he continued with his family, he did stop the program. And he was still kind of bummed. But after he continued, a couple months passed, he's still on pause, but we keep in contact with him a little bit now and then just to check on him. But hopefully soon he will return. So remember, don't forget where you want to be. You can still continue and do that unpause button. So again, just because something that has set you back, that doesn't mean you cannot come back to where you started. But each and every one of you, including me, has a full power to do what you want to do. And I can tell you Terrance is not the only one going through this. I mean, family, work, whatever the boundaries are, the walls, you just have to figure out a way to get around it. So, but I'm a firm believer is what we think in our heads is how we're going to have ourselves accountable and determine of what we are capable of. So, I wanted to start connecting our futures and our past to make those U-turns, but having our own roadmap and using information architect to lay them out. So, whatever your decisions are, you need to understand them. But if you do pick the wrong way, or you want to hit that pause button, it's okay, because you can always make that famous U-turn like I did on the freeway when I was talking to Catherine. But also too, it has to be a healthy plan for you. So again, from that LinkedIn post, from 15,000 views, I have connected with more people I ever thought I would ever will. The more people that I connected with, I've heard their stories, I've heard their positives, their negatives, and so forth. And most of all, the struggles, what they have. But it made sense in my life. And handling that type of information is how we are given to lay down of our own path. So if you gather all the requirements, your users, your content, and your contacts, I have shared with you 4 different stories: Tom, Holly, Terrance, and myself. So if you're able to fill in all those gaps and steer what information architect is actually about, you are the one that's driving and not anybody else. Thank you.
So with like the three, I guess, case studies, I think you do a good job of breaking them down to those three categories. But as if they're their own person, how can they take a step back and be able to, separate themselves in this way and be able to be objective and realistic with, who they are as a user and their content and their context?
That's a great question. You as a person, be individual. The only person that knows you the best is yourself, right? So if you're willing to really look yourself in the mirror and not pretend like, oh, this or oh, that, then you can peel off everything. But you have to be really true and honest with yourself, because that's where it starts. Because nobody else is going to look out for you but yourself. Nobody's going to be the biggest advocate for yourself is you.